with my saggy self, with my flattered self, with my wounded self, with my hurt self. You don't love me? I'm cool. I already got another one. His name is Jesus. Jesus is the lover of my soul. Full and complete. Absolute. He opens doors for me. He makes ways for me. He brings me through things I thought I couldn't get through. He counsels me when I'm crazy. He corrects me when I act a fool. He fixes me when I'm broke. When I'm marred in his hand, he makes me over again. He's never thrown me away. He's snatched me many times, but he's never discarded me once. When I think of the goodness, when I think of the goodness of Jesus, when I think of the goodness, you go ahead and praise about your car and your house and your 7-bedroom, but I praise him about his grace and his mercy and his love and his forgiveness and his power. Oh, my God. See, you don't need nobody else's power to make you powerful. They don't have to sing you happy. They don't have to preach you happy. Right. The power that you're experiencing is not coming from me to you. I'm calling it up out of you. It was already in you. It was there all the time. And the more you realize that, the more it's going to change you out of your belly. Out of your belly, not your pastor, not your bishop, not your elder. Out of your belly. Sometimes you'll get in trouble and you won't have anybody there to pray for you, but you can pray for yourself. I wish I had 10,000 people that pray your power in this room. Next time now. I can't take no gas on these matches. I feel that they're bullshit. They're bullshit. I feel like something's going to happen in here. I feel like something's going to happen in here. It's not my flesh because my flesh is tired, but there's something in my belly that's pushing me. There's something divine that's pushing me. There's something in the Holy Ghost that's pushing me. So over and over and over again, God keeps teaching us through tennis. Not houses. Tennis. Hey, telling you that we didn't come here to stay. Telling you that these light afflictions, which are but for a moment, work for us a far more exceeding weight of glory. Telling us that it is about the journey. Don't get too settled in one place. This is the word of the Lord to somebody. You're getting ready to shift. You're getting ready to shift. That's why the house didn't work. Because it's a tent relationship. It's a tent relationship. That's why I didn't build a temple before a tabernacle. Because it's a tent relationship. It's a tent relationship. And when you understand that it's God on the move, a pillar of fire by night, a cloud of smoke by day, when you understand that you got to pack up every evening and keep it moving because God keeps it moving. You got to keep it moving when your feelings are hurt. You got to keep it moving when your heart is broken. You got to keep it moving when you're down to your last bottle of water. You got to keep it moving when all hell is breaking loose. You got to keep it moving when people leave you, when they forsake you, when they betray you, when they lie on you. You can't stop and have a pity party. You got to pack up because we're tent people. We got to keep it moving. Slap 3 people and say, keep it moving.
Keep it moving, Doc. Keep it moving. Keep it moving.
And we have been teaching you all week about how to build a church, how to build a business, how to build a company, how to build an entrepreneurship, how to set up an LLC or LLP or S corporation or C corporation. We've been teaching you all week how to do it, how to set it in a trust or not set it in a trust, or how to build your business in such a way that you have access to capital, how to use non-recourse capital, as well as taking out loans, how to leverage who you are, what you have, the land you have to build community. We've been teaching it all week. But if I don't teach this, the conference won't be complete. Because our real problem is not in building churches. And our real problem is not in building communities. And our real problem is not in bike trails or green spaces. The problem is in our own tent. See, I can put up with hell at church. All you people who talk about you being hurt and you can't deal with church, it's only an hour and a half. I could lay in hot gravy for an hour and a half. You want to blame the church for what is a far more complicated problem. It's not coming from the church, it's coming from the tent. The tent you're living in, all hell is breaking loose in your tent. And then somebody got on your nerves at church, and you can say it's the church. It ain't the church, because all you got to do is walk out the door. Ain't nobody holding you hostage. You can leave and start a church, build a church, plant a church, create a church, join another church. If the church is the only problem you got, God, you ain't got no problem. The real problem is living with yourself. Living with your nasty, dirty self. Living with your mind and your ideas and your philosophies and your disappointment and your imposter syndrome and your self-doubt and your inadequacies. That is the real hell. I don't care about no pews or stained glass windows. I can get away from all of that.
Right. You.
But it's a tent. I gotta sleep in it. I gotta eat in it. I gotta carry it around in the hot desert. I gotta put it up and take it down, and put it up and take it down, and put it up and take it down. And Abraham's problem is that the tent is getting crowded. And I just wanted to ask you, how crowded? How crowded is your tent? Have you got too many people with conflicting agendas?
There it is. There it is. That's it.
Living in your tent?
Mm-hmm.
Sarah has suggested that Abraham sleep with Hagar.
Mm-hmm.
She really doesn't know what kind of woman Hagar is.
Mm-hmm.
But see, when you don't have something, watch this. You pick people on the basis of them having what you don't have without evaluating what all comes along with that. Come on, come on, come on. If your first husband wouldn't work, you just looking for a man with a job. You got a job, you got a wife. Let's get together. You working good. If your first wife was abusive and she talked too much, you just looking for somebody quiet. You don't care if they're stupid. You don't care if they got a disease.
Come on.
You don't care if they got lupus. You don't care if they're HIV positive. Just shut up. If you shut up, we can get married. See, when you've been hurt, you make choices based on vacancies.
Hey!
So you swap the devil and go home with the witch.
Yep.
You swap the witch and go home with the devil.
Oh, powerful.
And all the thing we know about Hannah is that she's fertile.
Mm-hmm.
We don't know whether she's foolish or not.
Mm-hmm. You found out she was foolish.
But the criteria for the job is, are you fertile? Well, she was fertile as model.
But foolish.
But Abraham, the progenitor of faith, the father of all the major religions, three of the top largest religions in the world, root back to the loins of Abraham. No, let me go deeper. Root back to the dead loins that God started three major religions out of the dead loins of an old man that he handpicked and waited till his body was dead and made sure his wife was barren. And God said, I want you. You've been trying to see what God saw in you. Nothing. You had nothing. God didn't choose you because you had something. God chose you because you had nothing. God chose you because your stuff don't work. God chose you because your wife is barren. God chose you because of what you don't know. God chose you because of what you don't have. God will confound the wise with the foolishness of this world. It makes no sense that you and I would be in this Coliseum today. But to God be the glory for the things. Can I go deeper? Oh, this might hurt you a little bit. But touch your neighbor and say, I got nothing. He didn't need my brain. He didn't need my talent. He didn't need my gift. He didn't need my voice. There are people in jail who can out-sing you. There are people sleeping up under a bridge who can out-preach me. It is not your talent that got you chosen. It is your impotence. It is your barrenness. It is your desperation saying, God, if you don't help me, I don't have nothing to offer. I don't know nothing. I don't understand nothing. I feel like an imposter. Even when I talk smart, I feel stupid. I need you, Lord, in the morning. I need you in the noonday. I need you in the middle of the night. I need you when all hell is breaking loose. I need you in my store. I lay in the bed at 3 o'clock in the morning and I feel like a big joke because I'm not enough by myself. Without God, I can do nothing. All big badges on and titles. It's a joke. Your body is dead and your wife's knees are wrinkled. Her nipples are pointing south. So is No, you don't get it. You don't get it. You don't get it. You think I'm being funny, and I am a little bit, but I'm not really a lot of it because it's only a little bit because a lot of it is God hates impotence.
Yeah.
I understand all the smart people who are angry because you bought a bill of goods that said that if you were smart enough and bright enough, you would get it. And now you're a beast of burden with a load of books because God wasn't looking for potency. He was looking for impotency. He was looking for inadequacy. He was looking for somebody who was desperate enough to get down on their knees and say, oh God, I don't know how to be a mother. I don't know how to be a good wife. I don't know how to pastor a church. Oh God, what am I going to say tonight? Oh God, what am I going to preach? What am I going to do? Oh God, give me some. Give me some. Fill my mouth. Fill my head. Fill my heart. Fill my spirit. Fill me when I stand up. Stand up with me. When I move, move with me. When I flow, flow with me. You say that through my seed all nations of the earth should be blessed. I ain't got no seed. I stopped having seeds 10 years ago. And if all the nations of the earth are going to be blessed through my seed, why didn't you pick somebody young like him? Why did you wait till I was 80-some years old and decide to start a family with an impotent woman? Wow. Who has to go borrow me a girlfriend?
Didn't have to do it anyway. You didn't have to do
And
it.
I would impose my Western mind. Because I don't care how sexual it is. She could be on life support.
I know that's right.
And she still would not pick. I have been married her 43 years. I have never heard her say to me, oh, it's okay. I really don't mind. I'm cool with it. Do your thing. Let your hair down. Boys will be boys. Get it out your system. I'm cool with it. I never heard her say that.
And you ain't gonna hear her say it either.
But Sarah is so sincere, so sincerely wrestling with her inadequacies as a woman, that she is willing to compromise her envy for her husband to fulfill her obligation in the Bible days of a wife, even if it means another woman filling in, spending time, giggling softly, laying on pillows, closed up behind curtains, living in a tent, listening. Laying in the bed by yourself, listening at your husband.
Wrong. Bishop. Wrong.
You know his voice, you know his tones, you know his sounds. Listening at your husband having pleasure
Ignorance.
with somebody you picked.
Wrong. It's ignorance.
So how do you cover your head up so that you cannot hear him? Because you know you cannot be married to a man and not know him. You know him. You know he ain't faking. He had a good time. He is having a Six Flags good time. And how do you like a woman who is giving him what you can?
It's a curse. It's a
How do
curse.
you like her?
It's a
How do
curse.
you be nice to her? How do you wake up in the morning and say good morning and you just got out of bed with my man? How do you fix your face to say how you feeling today?
It's a
I
curse.
know how you feeling today. I used to feel that way too.
It's a curse. It's a curse. It's a curse. It's a curse.
No, let's bring it in. Let's bring it all the way in.
It's a
Let's bring
curse.
it all the way in.
It's a curse.
And she says, and this, I hope y'all didn't drive this home. It's worth it as long as I get what I want.
It's a curse.
And there are some of you who have compromised your principles.
That's the word. It's a curse. Don't curse yourself.
Because you told yourself it was worth it as long as you got what you want.
Uh-huh. It's a curse.
It's worth it. I want that to sink real deep. It's worth it as long as I get what I want.
No, it's not.
And Hagar was pregnant. Can you imagine how bad that got on Sarah's nerves?
She cursed herself.
To feel little A Junior kicking around in her belly. And Hagar's talking about, put your hand right here, put your hand, can you go? He just kicked me, come on, put your hand right here. No, I'm gonna put my hand right there. I'm gonna put my hand right there. I'm gonna touch you.
Curse yourself. It's a curse.
Even if you are doing it for me. I am conflicted in my own tent.
Mm-hmm.
Because my natural inclination is to resist this. But my desperation suggested it. Have you ever suggested something you regretted?
Of course you have.
Have you ever suggested something for your daughter, for your son, you regretted it? Have you ever tried to make a hookup that you wish you could unhook? Come on, talk to me, come on. Have you ever moved to a city in which you hadn't come? Have you ever started a ministry in which you hadn't done it? Have you ever got yourself in over your head and you didn't know how to get yourself out?
Yep.
And you keep taking notes and getting all kinds of information, but you don't need more information if you're not going to make changes.
Make changes.
So she had some more. You know the story. Let me hear it. She had some more. Hagar had some more. And then, wonder of wonders. Miracles of miracles. The very thing I thought that would never happen to me.
Mm-hmm.
All of this is stuff I never thought would happen.
Mm-hmm. Wait on God.
You don't understand. There are guys aiming for it. There are guys fighting for it. There are guys shooting for it. There are guys going to cut your throat for it. Never expected this to happen to me. I was the most shocked person in the whole wide world. I was as shocked as Sarah was when she was pregnant.
Mm-hmm.
Pregnant? Me? Now? Pregnant? Really? Are you serious? God is getting ready to blow your mind. He's getting ready to do something that you thought it was too late for, that you gave up on, that you thought was impossible, that you are so aware of your vulnerabilities that you think it can't happen to you. God is getting ready to blow your mind, and all of those counterfeit substitute Johnny come lately solutions that you put into place, you ain't gonna need none of them, because through your own body, through your own gift, it's not gonna come through the evangelist you bring in to preach. It's not gonna come in through the revival. It's not gonna come through all them conferences y'all having and can't get nobody to come to. That's not going to do it. It's going to come through your own mouth. Stop giving a Hagar the job of having your baby. Nobody can have your baby but you. God said out of your body. Oh, shut up, oh, shut. Oh, somebody come get this Sarah. I feel the Holy Ghost. God said out of your own body. You gonna push this baby out. You gonna push it for yourself. I don't know who I'm talking to, but slap anybody you can reach and say, push! It's coming out of you. It's coming out of your belly. It's coming out of your spirit. It's coming out of your bowels. It's coming out of your guts. It's coming out of your anointing. It's coming out of your power. If you stop being trifling and push, you ain't gonna be able to have this baby while you drinking a milkshake. You're gonna have to push. Slap your neighbor and say, push. Wait a minute. We got 4 people in this tent. And this is the challenge of growth. The challenge of growth is when you designed it at one stage, and now you're in another stage, and now you're in a stage that you don't need when you started in your first stage, but you can't let go of what you started in your first stage because you're committed to it. And the challenge is, Sarah never thought that Abraham would become bond to the bondwoman.
Got ahead of yourself.
She never thought they'd be giggling over dinner.
Mm-hmm.
She never thought that they'd be winking at each other. She never understood soul tie. She never understood that there's no way that you can keep laying with somebody and not become bond to them. That you can't hear their dreams and their hopes. And what would you have been had you not been in Egypt? And what would you have been if you had not been a maid?
Yep.
And he listened to her dreams, and he listened to her tears, and he listened to her fears, and he was bond.
It's a curse.
He was bond to the bond.
Curse.
And she didn't see that in the plan. She only saw that she could have a baby, but she could not see that she could have her husband.
Mm-hmm.
And now Abraham is bond to the bondwoman.
Mm-hmm.
And by the time Sarah realizes that this is him,
that's what promiscuity does.
And let me talk to you a minute. I ain't worried about your church being great. I'm not too worried about your business being great. I'm worried about your tent being great.
There you go. That's it.
Because if you got trouble at work, you can leave.
All right.
If you got trouble at church, it's only a couple of hours you can go. You got trouble in the tent. You
nowhere to go.
Sleep.
Nowhere to go.
Thunder.
Nowhere to go.
Tent. That's why you're stressed out.
Mm-hmm.
That's why you're nervous.
Yep.
That's why you can't sleep.
Yep.
That's why you have anxiety.
That's it.
That's why all hell is breaking loose.
Yep.
Because you have no place to lay your head.
Nowhere to go.
Foxes have holes.
Mm-hmm.
Birds of the air have nests. You're anointed, but you have
nowhere to go.
Lay your head. And you can't even acknowledge that I'm right because you're in the room with some of the tent people. But just keep looking straight ahead, because the truth of the matter is, it ain't about raging sex. It's about a peaceful place to lay your head where you're not on duty all the time.
All right.
And the problem is your life don't leave here because it's God.
Mm-hmm.
Your life has become complicated.
Yep.
Because you got what you had with where you are.
Mm. Didn't have to be
You
there.
got Hagar and Sarah.
Yep.
You got Ishmael and Isaac. And it's a tent.
That's right.
And it sure is crowded in the tent. Even if the tent is just in my head.
Yep.
Is there anybody in here that you have been wrestling?
That's where it at.
Head?
That's where
There's
it's
too
at.
many voices and there's too many
Yep.
people talking in your own
Yep.
head. And
That's it.
Sarah, and Sarah is hollering, and Hagar and Ishmael and Isaac is making fun
Yep.
of Ishmael, and Ishmael is making fun of Isaac, and they're all living in between your two ears.
Yep.
And when your wife asks you what's on your mind,
Mhm.
you say
Nothing.
nothing. The growing pains of success is knowing when to let go
Let go.
of what you had
Yep.
for where you are.
There you go, Bishop.
And the reason it is so painful
That's grown folk stuff.
is because you have become bound to your yesterday
That's it.
at the expense of your tomorrow.
Yep. Teach.
And you feel comfortable with those people
Mm-hmm.
because they knew you win.
Yep.
You hang out with them because you tell the same joke.
Saying jokes.
You hang out with them because you started together, and soul ties are based on shared experiences.
Mm-hmm. Teach.
And Hagar had shared experiences with Abraham that Sarai could not relate to.
Mm-hmm.
And then Sarah tries to exert authority and says, put out the bondwoman
Mm-hmm.
and her son. Abraham said, you might go force it, daughter. You want me to put her out? You want me to put out who you suggested
Mm-hmm.
for me to bring in this house?
All right.
You want me to put out my last chance at happiness?
Mm.
At 90-some years old,
It's a curse.
you want me to stop the one thing that made me smile? To make you smile. And I'm not sure that making you smile is worth me losing my smile for the rest of my life.
Mm.
Can I preach this thing? Can somebody let me preach this thing? I need to preach this thing. And it took God to speak to Abraham. Ladies, you are not going to fuss us into correction
Mm-hmm.
unless you marry a wimp.
All right. All right. All right.
Saying it more times does not make me more compliant.
I know that's
It
right.
makes me more consistent. It makes me more
All right. Yeah.
It makes me more rebellious. Yeah,
Yep.
I promise you, the more you walk in behind me trying to express your point, the more angry I get, the
Yep.
more absolute I get, the more
right.
I am determined to show you that you ain't my mama.
Mm-hmm. It's wrong. It's wrong.
Instead of following me around, you need to drop down on your knees.
Come on.
And start talking to God.
Yeah.
And say, God, he belongs to you.
Yeah.
And he's tied up in something, and you've got something better for him. And I need you to speak to him. And I need you to
Yeah.
hold him down. Because if I keep nagging him instead of drawing him,
Push
I'm
him.
going to push him away.
That's
that
right.
goes for your son, that goes for your boss, that goes for your husband, that goes for whoever you're trying to communicate to. You must be a woman of prayer.
All right.
All the women of prayer make some noise in this house. God says to Abraham, hearken unto the voice of thy wife.
Mm.
The woman is right.
Mm-hmm.
Now, this is what's hard. What is really hard is change.
Change.
Because what we do in life, in business, in church, in relationships, is hoard.
Mm-hmm.
We hoard stuff. We hoard boxes. We hoard containers. We hoard money. We hoard people, just in case you leave.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to have a backup.
Mm-hmm.
Just in case you hurt me.
Mm-hmm.
Just in case you want me.
Yeah.
Y'all looking at me funny. See, y'all don't like real preaching. Y'all like that old sugarcoat preaching. But you know there's some just in case brothers in here.
Mm-hmm. Yes, they are.
Brothers either.
Yep.
I have learned it's some just in case sisters in here.
That's the problem.
You just wink at the postman just enough in case.
That's the problem. Uh-huh.
You have already left the door. Don't you sit there and look at me.
Uh-huh.
With your beautiful brown eyes.
Mm-hmm.
I saw that text, that inbox. You said, talk about, so you look nice in your gym shorts.
Yep.
Yeah. You left some doors open.
Left them open.
You left some doors open.
Yep.
In case the church don't grow, I got a job.
Yep.
In case the church don't come through,
Mm-hmm.
I got a means of escape.
Mm-hmm.
In case the business doesn't
You better preach.
have a way out. All of us got a side chick somewhere.
Uh-huh.
All of us got a side chick.
That's all right.
In case you walk away on me. In case the customers stop coming. In case the contract is canceled.
Mm-hmm.
All of us got a plan B in place.
Yep. It
And
won't
the
work.
hard part about
It won't
change
work.
is we are hoarders. We hoard people. We hoard relationships.
Never works.
We hoard situations until our life is so crowded
Mm-hmm.
that we are driving ourselves crazy.
Yep.
And we are spending more money on therapy today than we ever have in the history of this country. And I'm not against therapy. If you need it, go get it. But some of us are not getting better because therapy will not take the place of spring cleaning.
Hey.
I want to challenge you.
Come on.
To do some spring cleaning.
That's it.
Start cleaning out your closet.
That's it.
Get in your drawers and go down in the cellar and get down in the basement.
Sanctify.
Some phone numbers.
Come on.
Some people on.
There it is.
In your mind, I'm not going to leave a way of escape in case it
Come on.
work. I want you to get your focus.
All
I
in.
want you to get your mind back.
Yeah.
I want you to get your capacity.
All
I
in.
want you to remember who you are.
That's right. That's right.
Did you hear what I said? I want you to remember who you are.
Commitment. That is.
I'm almost done. And God says to him,
Make up your mind.
hearken unto the voice of thy wife. And he takes one bottle of water. Abraham is rich. And Ishmael is his son. And Hagar is his concubine. And he gives him one bottle of water
Mm-hmm.
and a few loaves of bread
Help us, Lord.
and turns her over to God.
Mm.
And the problem with you, God player, is that you are responsible for everybody.
That's right.
Everybody who was in your life, everybody who is in your life, everybody who's ever going to be in your life, and you wonder why you're exhausted. You have got 50 people in your tent right now
Mm-hmm.
that are sufficient, that could take care of themselves, that you think you're helping, but you're really hurting.
That's right.
Because the more you take care of them, the more crippled they become.
Yep.
And they'll never stand up and be
Yep.
who they were created to be as long as you solve every problem
Yep.
and fix every door. So ain't shouting as good as
Come on now.
but I'm going to preach anyway. Who am I helping in this place today? He gave her one bottle of water and a couple of biscuits and said, see you. Not because he wasn't compassionate, but because he knows that you cannot raise God's child.
I know that's right.
God has to raise his own children.
Come on,
God
preacher.
has to make a way for his own children. God has to show himself strong in his own children. Suppose he'd have given her too much bread and too much water, God would have never spoke to her. But where Abraham let up, that's where God stepped in. And you are standing in the way of your people having an encounter with God. You're such a big mama. You're so busy taking care of everything.
Yep.
No wonder your child don't pray.
That's right.
She don't have to pray. All she got to do is text you and you fix it.
Hey!
God said, get out the way.
Get out the way. Let them grow up.
God wants to show himself strong, but they got to be in the desert to find God. They can't find God if all they can find is you.
Yep. That's good stuff. That's good.
If you know God's talking to you, give him 30 seconds of praise with him. So this is what I teach you about the text. God said to Abram, don't let it be grievous to you. And it was the word grievous. And then when I focus on the word grievous, when I think of grief, I think somebody has to die. But there are a lot of us grieving without caskets. We're grieving over the death of what we had in mind.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
We're grieving because our life did not turn out the way we expected.
We wanted it.
We're grieving because who we expected to share it with is no longer by our side.
Yep.
We're grieving because how we imagine things has been terminated and we have been stuck in a state of grief. And as long as you are grieving, you can't be creative.
That's right. That's right.
As long as you are grieving, you cannot be creative. Let me hurry up and finish. As long as you are grieving, you cannot hear God.
That's right.
As long as you are grieving, you cannot discover yourself. As long as you are grieving, you don't have the courage to stand in the power of his might. And the Lord told me to break the spirit of grief off of this room today. I don't know who you are, and I don't know if you got the courage to have the spirit of grief broken off of you. But I curse the spirit of grief. Everybody who needs it broken, jump up on your feet. I curse the spirit of grief. I curse the spirit of depression. I curse the spirit of heaviness. I curse the spirit of loneliness. I curse the spirit of despair. I curse the spirit of hate. I curse the spirit of trouble that's standing in your way and shutting it down. I curse it right now. I release the spirit of creativity. I release the creativity of opportunity. I release the spirit of passion that's about to burst forth in your belly. I release the power of enthusiasm. I release fresh ideas, fresh concepts, fresh relationships, fresh doors open. I release prosperity. I release peace. I release power. I release fortitude. I release staying power. If you receive it, how much more? I dare you to put, come on, man. Are you selling it to the devil? Open your mouth and open your mouth and open your mouth and open your mouth till you get released. Open your mouth till you get some freedom. Open your mouth till the yoke is broken. Open your mouth till the door is open. You've been walking in grief. You've been sleeping in grief. You've been going to the grocery store in grief. Sad about what you got to deal with. Sad about what you got to deal with.